What's going on, everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be demonstrating to you my newest plugin in collaboration with BeatConnect called the Froosh Amp. So essentially what this is it's just a DAW plugin that you can use, that you plug straight into your audio interface from your Strat or whatever desired guitar you want. And you can get Frusciante inspired tones just from plugging into your interface without any pedals and stuff like that. But basically it gives you the instant Frusciante clean tones straight from his like Marshall Major kind of vibe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run through the installation process first. We'll go through how you can get it into your desired DAW. Today I'll be demonstrating it through GarageBand, but it works with pretty much every single DAW that everybody uses, like the popular ones. And then after the installation process, I'm gonna plug this in with and without my pedal board to show you how you can get the clean tones just with no pedals straight into your interface, and then also with the clone CE1, the DS2, and the WH10 on how you can like control those volume jumps going into this amp as well, because it's basically like having a Marshall Major or a Plexi style amp where you need some sort of buffer unless you're really cranking the amp, or else you're gonna get volume jumps on the DS2. So we'll cover all of that stuff. So first let's run through the installation process, and then we'll get into the playing and the tones afterwards. The link will be in the description for this website, but this is basically the landing page that BeatConnect created for the Froosh Amp. And it just has a little synopsis of what the amp will provide for you. So if you go to the buy now, I'm gonna put my stuff here. So then once you purchase it, you'll see that there's a Mac and a Windows option. You can just pick the corresponding one for whatever you're using. So when you download the file, you'll see the package of the Froosh Amp, the plugin. You just want to run through the installation process, agree, continue, install. And then it's basically going to run the installer. It shouldn't take long. Like I said, there we go. Empty project, line, input 6. So you'll have a new track. Let's just name it the Froosh Amp demo. You're going to want to have monitoring on here because you want to hear it coming through your speakers or whatever you're using to hear the audio. If it's headphones, that works too. Then you're going to want to come down to the bottom left, plugins. This is exactly how it works for Logic too. We're going to turn the EQ off. We'll actually go no plugin, no plugin. And you're going to want to press the middle of the slot here, plugin. And you'll see that it's here for me. That's because I've already used the previous copy that I had downloaded. But you're going to want to come down to audio units. You'll see Lucas Russo. And then this is a draft one when we were drafting the plugin, and then when you come to Lucas Russo, you'll see the Froosh Amp. You just want to click that. So now that you'll see down here in the bottom left, the Froosh Amp is available to like use. You can turn it on and off like this, and I'll show you what it sounds like with it off and then with it on with just a dry signal. It's a pretty drastic difference, but once you open it up, it's just gonna load. And then these are the toggles you have here. So you have a clarity knob, you have a gain knob, reverb, and coarse. So clarity all the way down basically emulates that era of John's tone, so the very dark, harsh Californication era. And then gain all the way up will also give you a little bit more crunch, so kind of like the Californication era too. And then if you dial back the gain all the way down, you'll get more of that Stadium Arcadium, by the way, into the Unlimited Love tour. So basically, as John's tone was really clean for the Blood Sugar Sex Magik era, and then come Californication, that's when it got a little bit dark and harsh and gritty. So then that's where you can turn the gain up. And then going to By the Way, it's still a little bit like crunchy, but it's starting to definitely get cleaner. Stadium Arcadium is a lot cleaner here, and then Unlimited Love is probably his cleanest, I think, now in terms of his tone. So as the years go on, you can turn the clarity up because he uses a bit more treble, come like Stadium Arcadium and Unlimited Love. And then as the gain goes up, it's kind of like backwards towards his Californication era, if that makes sense. So the more gain, the earlier in his career, and then the less gain, the later in the career. The reverb is just up to your preference. John uses more reverb as the Stadium Arcadium, By the Way, Unlimited Love era come. Blood Sugar Sex Magik is completely dry, so when I go through the tones with you guys, which will be shortly near the end of the video, you'll see that the reverb will be completely off, and then when we get to the Stadium Arcadium era, the reverb is going to come up, as well as the Unlimited Love era. Course obviously depends on the song, but for things like Solstice Squeeze, John usually uses his course just around past noon. But I find that with this one, you might have to turn it up just a little bit more. It's just the parameters that BeatConnect used. You might need a little bit more coarse, so around like 75 is kind of the soul to squeeze vibe. But if you want things like Rivers of Avalon, you can turn it all the way up, and it kind of gives you more of the vibrato vibe. Essentially, that's the entire process of downloading. It's super simple. There's not that many controls on this panel because we didn't want the user to kind of get lost and still keep the basis of Frusciante's tone in it regardless of what parameter you use. We're gonna go straight into the interface. Oh, and I'm also gonna plug it in with my pedal board to show you guys the CE1, how I'm setting that up, as well as the WH10 and the DS2 as well. And so without further ado, let's just jump right into the playing. So this is completely dry. So it's very clean, just a DI guitar. So as soon as we turn this on, you're gonna hear a little bit of a buzz. So it's a little clean, obviously, but no reverb, clarity at 40, gain at 100, and then course you can just turn on if you want to do like Soul to Squeeze or something like that. But so it kind of instantly gives you that clean tone from John. From Under the Bridge. I'm gonna put the clarity up to 65 here with the course at 70 and gain at 100. So for By the Way, I kind of have the reverb between 60 and 70, gain at around 70, and clarity around 40 now for a little bit of a cleaner, brighter kind of vibe. But essentially, that'll get you there. But let's try Zephyr or something like that. And then for Stadium Arcadium, there isn't just one kind of preset to his tone. No matter what you do, it'll kind of sound like Frusciante regardless. But for the Stadium Arcadium, like there's songs with zero reverb and there's songs with a lot of reverb. So we'll turn the course all the way down. The gain and the clarity, we can kind of bring it to like 70 actually. Let's leave it at the same. And then 40, this would be more like the Danny California vibe. Maybe a bit brighter. Let's try 50 and 50. So that'll get you like the clean Stadium Arcadium kind of vibe. You can even crank the reverb and kind of do a little bit of snow. So if you're looking to pair the Froosh Amp with pedals, I would recommend 3 pedals, somewhat of a C1 clone. I'm using the one from JFX. So you got the level dial, the coarse, and the vibrato mode. I'd recommend using something like this to get a little bit more gain and push from your amp, and also to control the volume jumps, because this amp doesn't necessarily do that a whole lot since you're only like having a one preamp buffer of your interface. And then the Boss DS2 and the Ibanez Wah, which I'll show you guys as well. But I have the Boss DS2 ran full out today just to show you that even with full out, you won't get a volume jump. And then the WH10 is with the flip switch north. I'm using the V3, and then the depth dials all the way up. So those are the 3 pedals I'm gonna run through today to show you guys. And then everything else we're just using straight the amp. So the reverb and the chorus we'll be using from the amp. And then my CE1 will be set as follows. So on the high mode, gain pretty much straight up, chorus straight up, and the vibrato, those we're not going to be using, but if you're curious, that's how I set my CE1. So let's plug in the pedals, and I'll just do a quick demonstration of how that sounds. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the demonstration of the Froosh Amp. You can click the link below if you're interested in it, or if you have any information. I have a website that will also be linked below, and there's a submission form. You can email me any questions and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I also have an Instagram page that you can see here on the screen, and you can DM me questions there as well. I'll try and get back to everybody. I'm really happy that BConnect reached out to me to create something like this. I think it's really useful for those people who can't afford a physical amp, or also play super loud at home and they want something to practice through. It's relatively cheap for the price and for what you're getting, especially that you're getting that Frusciante inspired tone like instantly. I definitely think this is the best thing you can get on the market for like a digital product for the Frusciante tone. So if you're interested, click the link below. Like I said, message me if you have any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I appreciate all the support that you guys are giving.